What's up, guys? Welcome back to the garden. We are so glad that you're here. I'm your host, Taryn, formerly Balzana, now Colvin, joined by my husband, Trent. And we just wanted to do a little episode of kind of recapping our engagement season, our wedding day. Our engagement season was only 2 months long, but there was a lot of life in that 2 months. Yeah. And so we just kind of wanted to share a little bit of that with you, what our 2 months of engagement looked like, talk a little bit about our wedding day. And then to start off, we wanted to play a little game. Just something a little fun. So
you take a prompt out of the bowl here, and whatever the position is, you have to defend it passionately, or as passionately as you can. So let's say, for an example, it's something like you totally disagree with or whatever.
Yeah, no matter where you stand on the subject, you have to passionately defend whatever that piece of paper says.
You gonna go first?
Oh, sure. Okay. We have a little bowl here. See, bowl. Watching trailers ruins movies. I totally agree. Like, literally, they just give too much in the movie. When I watch a trailer, I'm like, I feel like I just watched the whole movie. Like, I don't even feel like I need to watch the movie because you just told me everything that's going to happen.
Okay, but how do you know you want to see the movie if you haven't seen a trailer?
You can read about it. Someone can tell you about it. If I read the description...
Is that not kind of like a trailer?
No, because the description doesn't give you near as much. It gives you a few sentences. And by the description, I can tell if I want to watch that movie or not.
Well, what if you just do a short trailer? Like a few second trailer?
If they made shorter trailers...
Tell you more.
If they did show you as much in the trailer... I feel like in the trailer, they literally show you way too much. I'm like, trailers, I already know what's happening.
Some trailers do, but some do not.
Well, I guess all the ones I've watched have.
Ooh. Water is not wet.
Of course you would get that one.
Water is not wet. This is tough. Oh my goodness. Water is not wet because hydrogen bonds connect to each other to allow the water to touch itself. So how does that make it wet? I don't know. This is tough.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know. Some people say, oh, well, water is not wet. It just makes other things wet.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me either. I'm having a hard time with this one.
Every time you have brought this up, you always act like you're trying to defend it. You're like, is water wet?
I always say water's wet.
I don't think I've ever actually heard your answer.
Yeah, I 1,000% think.
I thought you didn't think it was.
No, I think it's wet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Some of these are really hard to defend.
I can't defend that.
I don't remember all the ones that we put, though.
If you think water is not wet, I mean, hey.
I am curious, though.
Good,
if you don't think water is wet, please explain in the comments why you don't think that.
Yeah, so I can maybe use this next time we play the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready to start the timer.
Plain cheese pizza is boring. There's so many other toppings that you could have, and you just choose cheese. Like, why? That is so lame. There's a gazillion other toppings you could have.
I have a hard time attacking this one because I feel like cheese pizza is really just like cheese bread, but in a circle.
Cheese bread is fire, though.
True, but it's really just, I feel like they're the same thing.
Yeah.
But if I do have to attack it, I'm going to say cheese is great. Cheese is good for you. Cheese is protein. Cheese pizza is all pizzas before you add anything else on it. Yeah.
Shoot.
I know, right?
If you don't have cheese pizza, you really don't have pizza.
Exactly. What are you going to have?
Dang.
Yeah. You're just going to have sauce and toppings?
That was good. That's good.
That'd be weird.
Okay, your turn.
All right. There's a couple I'm kind of hoping for. Those so far have not been them.
Yeah, I didn't pick her.
Cereal is a soup. Is the one I got. Yikes. Cereal is a soup because it's got a broth, which is milk. And then you've got, the other stuff that goes in a soup, which is the cereal. You can even have like mushrooms in your cereal, like mushroom shaped like marshmallows or something.
What?
I don't know.
I feel like I could defend this so much better than you're doing.
You probably could. I'm doing terrible at this. But
you literally eat it in a bowl with a spoon like soup. How is it not soup?
Yeah, and you drink the broth at the end. Same way you do in a soup. Taco soup, you eat the stuff, and then you drink a little bit of the broth.
I was about to say that you couldn't eat. The only thing about cereal is it's just like cold soup, but they call it oatmeal cereal too. And that's hot.
What's that about? Why are they calling oatmeal cereal? You just did your frog impression live on the podcast. That was great.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
Anyway, moving on.
You want to talk about something embarrassing? When you kicked it off, the podcast, I was like looking at the mic and like scratching at the mic, and I looked a little goofy then. So I think we're even.
Okay. All right. Next up. Spoilers make things better. I think that I actually heard an analogy of this and it kind of made sense. Just like if someone tells you like who wins a game and then you go watch that game and it's like really close or they're down by a lot, like it kind of does make it a lot more exciting. Also,
it was the pastor last week.
It was the pastor, yes.
Yeah.
But then he was like, think of the Bible. Like, we know who wins. We know the ending. So, spoiler, we know who wins. But being in the midst of the story, and even when you're like reading stories in the Bible, it's like, wow. Like, you know the ending, but the story is still crazy.
Yeah, so the story he had said was like a friend of his had heard that this team won or whatever, and then he went and they were down by so much, like he couldn't understand how they came back and won.
He was like, I know they come back and win, but it seems impossible.
Right, yeah, which is awesome. But I mean, that kind of sounds like almost like our story, in Christ. Like, yeah, that's great. I never really thought about that.
I think that spoilers can make it better. I think it can add.
I'm having a hard time now attacking it because
it can make it more exciting.
Yeah, but okay, say you are watching a game though, and somebody spoils the game for you. Like, how many times are you watching that game? No, most people are not. Most people are like, you just ruined the game for me. Thanks. I'm gonna just not watch.
Yeah, I'd have to be an avid sports watcher to go back and rewatch it if somebody already told me what was gonna happen.
Yeah. Or
but
like
then
if
again,
it's a movie.
People have told me what happens in movies, and I've still went and watched them.
Yeah, but doesn't it kind of like ruin it?
Not really, because you still don't know how they got there.
Okay. I mean, I guess this is just like, that's the perfect defense for this. I don't know. Because I can't really attack it any better, I don't think.
Okay, your turn.
All right.
I can't wait for all of the text messages attacking us for these points of view.
Read receipts should always be on. Read receipts should always be on because
yes.
So you can get
Do
caught.
tell.
So you get caught when you don't want to respond to somebody.
Why should read receipts always be on?
Because it keeps you honest. And whenever you read somebody's text message, you should be called out for not responding. People should know you're ghosting them actively rather than on accident.
Yeah. No. I don't think read receipts should always be on. I think it's just asking for relationships to be damaged. No, I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think it just like begs for too much explanation. Like, I don't want to explain every single time. Like,
okay, but if it took you 5 days to respond to a text message, everybody knows you read that and you just did not respond.
I have so many
Whether
friends
they're on or
watching
not.
right now that
Oh, is this calling you out right now?
no.
Oh.
I have certain friends that I've gotten a lot worse at it though.
I would say this is definitely calling me out sometimes. Like, there are times that
You have like 200 and something unread messages.
This isn't about me.
You just said it was about you.
No. And like I said, we're moving. I think you should draw another one.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know when to stop this. Cold pizza is better. Honestly, cold pizza, you can't even compare it to hot pizza because it's just so good in its own way. Like, I feel like you can't even say.
Do you go to a restaurant and go, let me get my steak cold? I almost said my cake. Let me get my steak cold.
We're not talking about steak. We're talking about pizza.
Okay.
And I think that you can't even like compare the two. Truly,
you go and
like
you
cold pizza is amazing, but also hot pizza is amazing. So I'm not going to go to a restaurant and order cold pizza, but I am going to enjoy that cold pizza the next day.
But it says it's better.
When I take it over.
It says it's better.
Yeah.
It's definitely not better.
I can't say that it's better, but it's really good.
Yeah, there's not a cold pizza like parlor where you can go in and already have your pizza cold. It's not a thing. And you know why? Because they'd go out of business.
Okay. Your turn.
I think that was a good attack. I still don't think it's better. Honestly, I don't think cold pizza is better.
No, I don't think it's better either.
This one I'm having a little bit of more ease protecting. Breakfast food is better at night. I think breakfast food should have been a night food because have you ever had Waffle House? Nobody? Okay, well, I'm about to say nobody. Me and my grandma are probably the only ones that go to breakfast. Waffle House at breakfast hours. But other than that, you drive by Waffle House at like midnight, that place is packed. And you don't know if people are there for the food or for the fights.
I think breakfast food, I don't know. I was going to try to like counter, but then I'm like, it kind of is better at night. Because if you're waking up to have breakfast, you're usually waking up early and you have to make the breakfast. And
yeah, you're not having breakfast.
Normally, if I'm having breakfast food, I'm having it at brunch time anyway. So it's really for lunch. So it's like,
you just totally outed yourself. You're like, by the way, guys, I don't wake up early.
I just can't eat that much that early.
That is true. You just don't like eating breakfast, really. I would say the only time I see you eat breakfast is like when we're like up super early. Mm-hmm. Like when we're getting up at like 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah. Then I need like a meal. But if I'm waking up at normal time, then I don't eat breakfast I don't eat my first meal until like lunchtime.
I normally just roll with like a snack. I feel like it's just kind of a lot of work. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to wake up 3, 4 a.m. so you could leave the house at 5, 6?
Movies and TV shows where they like make a full course breakfast before the kids are leaving for school or before the husband or the wife leaves for school. Like, absolutely not. That's
okay, but not everybody leaves for work at 5 a.m. like I do.
It's absolutely not happening.
But
Thank God we can schedule your coffee.
I mean, yeah, that is actually
That's
great.
a life changer.
That is great. But okay, like if I did work at like normal hours, like 8 a.m., right? I feel like breakfast is now achievable.
It is achievable. I still think it's more enjoyable at night though. Because you're not on any schedule. You just get to enjoy it.
Yeah. But if
you just get to soak in those pancakes and that sausage and that fruit and that orange juice and that coffee, and it's just so much more enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, if I got to be up though, I would say yeah, it is more enjoyable. Like cereal at night.
Cereal night hits. Okay.
Different.
I think one more, and then we need to get rolling.
Or what if we just do a couple more and you cut some of it out? All right, so we're doing more, you said?
We do two more.
Two
Me
more?
one and you one. It's my turn.
Is it?
Yep. Socks belong in bed. I literally cannot defend this.
This should be the other way
literally
around.
cannot defend this.
Okay, let's just swap for it then. And you can go again next turn. All right. What if it's cold, right? Right? 20 degrees, your piggies are freezing off, and you need socks. You need some nice thick. Whoa, I think I just like blew a bubble with my spit. Anyway, but you need socks, to warm up your feet. Are you just going to let your piggies freeze off?
I'll wrap them in a blanket. But they still
20 degrees?
They still need to be able to move. In socks, they feel so constricted. Like, that is one of the most freeing things of the day is like taking off your socks and getting in bed and letting your piggy toes free.
But how does that actually affect anybody? Like, okay, I understand if it's normal weather.
It's just
like
a
it's 70
standard
in
protocol
your
that it's
house.
illegal.
Okay, but if it's nice, right? It's like 70 in your house, right? Okay, I understand. You don't need
And
socks.
if they're cold, I just stick them under you.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, okay, if it's like 70 degrees in your house and yeah, you don't need socks. Like, your feet are going to be sweaty and that's nasty and your feet are going to stink. I get that.
That's the
But if
other thing,
it's
because even if it's cold and you put socks on, your feet still get sweaty.
Not if it's cold.
Yes. Sweaty, not. No.
But how do you know that? Do you wake up and check them? Like moisture check them?
No, you wake up with sweaty feet.
But aren't socks literally designed to absorb the sweat?
Well,
Isn't that
they
their
fail
function?
then, I guess.
Isn't that the whole point?
I have no idea. Okay, your turn.
I think it is. Actually, it's your turn because I just defended
right.
it for you.
Okay. Everyone should clap when the plane lands. I think that's valid. It's like the end of a movie or something. Like, everyone always claps in the movie theater, even though no one can hear you or whatever. But at the end of a production, at the end of a big thing, you clap. And I think that that's valid, that you should clap when the plane lands.
Have you ever been in an Uber?
Yeah.
Okay, so when the Uber drops you off, do you clap and you go, wow, that was a great drive you did right there?
We don't, but we should. He did a good job. That pilot just flew you across the ocean and got you there safely.
Yeah, but more people are dying in car wrecks. So if anything, you should be more appreciative.
So exactly. That's what I just said. You should be clapping for that Uber drive.
Yeah, but that's
If you made it from point A to point B safely, you should be clapping.
It's just very rare that the plane does not get there. It's like clapping that somebody did their job. It's just weird.
Doesn't mean it should be any less appreciated.
I don't trust me. I'm not saying it should be any less appreciated. I just think it's just really weird. Okay,
I think there's weirder things out there
what if
than clapping when the plane lands.
every time you did something that you were supposed to do, somebody claps?
I wish
like,
that
wow.
happened.
I mean, actually, that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
I would enjoy doing life a lot more.
Yeah, honestly, I think that that should just be a thing now. Every time somebody does something, we should all just clap for them. World would be a better place.
Agreed.
I would get a lot more done for sure.
Okay. So,
Bible talk, though, we should do things not for the applause of man.
okay. We're going to jump in to our story. Okay, I did end up sharing about our engagement and how that all happened. It was a scavenger hunt. Trent ended up driving in overnight. We got engaged on November 1st. And it was really funny because on October 31st, I actually had recorded a 10-minute little vlog about me suspecting that it was coming soon. And then it just so happened to be the next day, which is wild. But anyway, how much thought went into a lot of thought went into the engagement. How long did it take you to plan the engagement?
I don't really know. I don't think it took a super long time. A lot of help from your mom and Bella. Yeah, me and your mom kind of kicked around some ideas together, and so that's kind of how we got where we got.
If any of you didn't watch the episode where I told the whole story, I'm not gonna tell the whole story just for time's sake, but he planned a scavenger hunt around my town, involving businesses that I frequently go to and some of my really close friends. And so each stop had a little clue, and then you go and there was little things to get at each stop. And then the last stop was a place that we had gone to, the two of us, one night, and we had a little picnic, and that was where he proposed. And it was tourist season in my town, so everybody and their mom was there.
There was so many people. There was at least 100 people that saw us get engaged.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
But my niece, Bella, she had actually vlogged the whole thing. So we do have video of it, and that's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you plan it within a week? How long did it take you to
Yeah, I'd say.
When did you come up with the idea, and from thought to execution, how long was that?
I don't know. That's tough. I have no clue. I would say maybe the initial thought was maybe a week before. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look back and see it. Your ma and I's passing of messages, because it was kind of oh, I'm trying to figure out when I should come. So I know that there was a lot of planning in terms of when. Mm-hmm. I think first I was planning when, and then it was okay. What? Right now. I don't know, but can I add? It was quite the craziness for me because I got up. I didn't even get up. Did I take a nap? I have no idea.
I don't think so. Okay, so you wanted to get off the phone at 9:30 because you're oh, I'm so tired and I want to just go to bed. And I was I don't think he's going to bed. I think he wants to get off the phone early, and then he's heading here.
You thought that?
Yeah, I said that on my vlog. Remember? You watched it.
Did I watch the vlog?
I was I think that it's a possibility. Yeah, you watched it. That day. I showed you that day. I was I'll show you this.
Yeah, I think I do remember.
But I was I think it's a possibility that he wanted to get off early and he could actually be driving here right now. And you were. And then you set it up all that morning.
Yeah, again.
So we had a big fall foliage festival going on in my town, and I thought that the Chamber of Commerce was putting on a scavenger hunt and we were going to do that. And that's how I I had no idea that this was actually what was happening. But it was about 3 stops in where I was okay, we did go on our scavenger hunt on our first date, and if this is what he's doing right now, that would be really awesome. But I didn't want to say anything in case that was not at all what was happening.
Yeah. Again, I mean, it was just a lot of help from everybody else, Jasper, your dad, mom, Bella. They were all a massive help. So
it was super special.
Oh, and then we can't forget about Donovan and Amber. Mm-hmm. They were in on it, so it was cool.
Yeah, they were the whole reason I even found out about the scavenger hunt, which was crazy. Because
I had reached out to Donovan prior and was hey, can you plant the bug for me?
He did that so well. I was I was oh, that sounds so much fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him, I was can you just mention to her a scavenger hunt at church tonight? He's I got you. I like sweet.
Dude, it was effortless.
Great. You killed it.
2 weeks later, I went to pick out my wedding dress, which I literally had only grabbed 3 dresses to try on, and it was the very first dress that I tried on was the one that I absolutely fell in love with. And then I still tried on the other 2, and Mom and Dad and Bella were like, I don't even know why you're trying these on. We all already know that it was the first one. So that was really cool, and kind of just like, it just really felt like God's hand was on it, that he just like had already, like, I had a vision. I will say that there were characteristics of my dress that I thought I did not want. And I tried it on anyway because it was the closest to the style that I was wanting. Like, I had a certain style in mind. And so I was like, okay, this is the closest thing I'm finding. And then I tried it on. I was like, oh, I actually love it. And then the other 2 dresses, one of them we didn't even get a picture of me in because we're like, there's literally no point.
Well, you looked gorgeous. I loved it.
Thanks. So that was like November 16th. And then you ended up coming down for Thanksgiving the weekend before Thanksgiving. And then on that Sunday, we were driving back to Texas because you had work for 2 days. And then we were going to drive to Houston for Thanksgiving with your family. So would you like to tell them what happened at about 12:30 at night on our drive?
So, yeah, Rudolph was out stretching his legs, getting ready for Christmas to pull old St. Nick around. And he was running across the road as I was driving across it, or down it, rather. And anyway, so he was in the middle of the air, legs kicking, you know, like majestic-like. And then, boom, I hit him going about 75. And front end of the truck was pretty good and smashed. The radiator was smashed, and the radiator hose came unhooked, and it poured out coolant so fast that we were out of coolant in a matter of maybe a minute or 2.
I was watching a movie on my phone, and when I heard like the impact, I had no idea because I was kind of like sitting down, like I was kind of slid down, like watching the movie on my phone, so I couldn't see over the dash. And whenever I heard the impact, I just like put my head down because I had no idea what had happened. And then I had my head down, and you were like, well, we just hit a deer. And then I lifted my head up, and yeah, and then the truck was overheating so fast. You're like, oh, maybe we can like make it to town. But it was overheating so fast that we could not make it. So we like pulled off into this driveway, and then it started an absolute torrential downpour.
My goodness. Yeah.
Downpour.
The monsoon began. It was the biggest storm of all time. It was raining so hard.
Not even an exaggeration, because when the tow truck finally came to pick us up, and then we couldn't, because we were out in the middle of nowhere, and because the roads were flooding, an Uber or anything wouldn't come out to where we were. They were like, we can't make it. The roads are flooded. Yeah. And so the tow truck driver was like, I'll give you a ride. We had to get a hotel that night. And
then the roof was leaking at the hotel.
Yeah. But the tow truck driver was like, I'll give you a ride. And there were so many roads that he went down, and he was like, he had to back up because
they were flooded.
They were flooded. He couldn't make it. So he had to go all the way around town.
Yeah, we were on
back to the hotel.
North side of town. We had to go all the way around to the south side to come up to our hotel.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And then literally me going from the truck to the tow truck, I got absolutely soaked. Like my clothes were absolutely soaked.
That was so bad.
And then we get to the hotel, and the roof is leaking in the hotel, and like the doors were locked. We had to like get the lady's attention to like let us in. And whenever I like changed that night, my clothes were still wet the next day. That's how soaked they were.
Yeah, it looked like we jumped in the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Shoes
And then
were wet.
the next day we had to get an Uber to the airport so that we could rent a car so that we could get to Del Rio because he still had to work that night.
Yeah, I'd work the next day.
Yeah. Crazy. So that was like not even a month into being engaged. And then on December 2nd, we started premarital counseling, which we talked a little bit about last week. Definitely, like, it was a little daunting at first, but not as scary as we thought it was going to be. And then
That was great.
the first weekend in December, I had my little bachelorette weekend, which was just a little. It was literally like a one night sleepover at a little cabin, and that was super nice and really fun to be with my friends and stuff. And then the middle of December, went to get fitted for my dress so that it could be altered. Just gonna throw this out there. Make sure that when you're buying a dress that you talk about potential alteration pricing up front, and that you get them to be upfront with you about that, because that was an expense we were not at all prepared for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We did not know that until she was like halfway through altering my dress, and then she like got out her little tablet and she's like, it's currently at blah 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 blah. And we were like, me and my dad and Bella turned white. My dad's like on his phone and he was like, and I like look in the mirror and the lady was like, would you like me to stop? Would you like me to take a minute? And I'm like, I need my dress altered. Like, that's not even an option. But the fact that you guys did not disclose this up front, like, you didn't even talk about, oh, alterations usually range from blah 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 to blah blah blah. No.
What? That should be.
It was insane. And then the fact that the lady was like, oh, do you want to sit and take a minute to think it over? And I'm like, we don't have a minute to think it over. I get married in a month. Less than a month. I need my dress altered. Yesterday.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though, that they didn't say anything.
No. Nothing.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Nothing.
They should definitely be giving you a heads up beforehand.
Yeah. So because
that should be illegal. Matter of fact, it probably is.
It probably is. But because they don't necessarily, I'm not going to like name drop. But the place I went to definitely did not do that. So
Maybe you should.
if nobody mentions that to you, just, I'm going to throw that out to you. Make sure that you talk about, hey, what would potential alterations cost? What do your alterations range from? You're welcome. That way you're not blindsided halfway through getting your dress altered.
Imagine. That's crazy.
I don't have to imagine because it was reality.
They were like, we've got you at gunpoint right now.
Literally.
That's so wild.
You have nowhere to go.
Hey, by the way,
you want to take a minute to think about it?
Before you're like, you imagine you're like, you've got your budget set, right?
We did.
Okay, but imagine, wait. Imagine you doing it last minute, right? Like, okay, some would say 1 month is last minute, but it was right on time for us because we only started with 2 months. But imagine it's like last minute. It's like a week of your wedding, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, the dress that you thought was going to cost this is now going to cost 10 times that amount." That'd be crazy.
We did have our budget set, and we were like, "Oh, okay."
If I was the bride, I'd be showing up in Walmart bags.
Yeah. Well, we had already paid for the dress, so we were like, "Okay, well now we just need the dress to fit properly." Yeah. And the lady didn't even, I kept telling her to go in on the side. Like, I was like, it needs to be tighter. It needs to be tighter. And she's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm like, it needs to be tighter. So I was like, whenever she's like squeezing the sides to like see how much to take in, I was like breathing in so that it would be like, and I don't even know what she did, but she still managed to mess it up. But when I went back on.
Wouldn't breathing in make it bigger?
No, I was so it would be tighter. So
yeah, I
that
think
she
that
would
might
pull.
be counteractive.
So that she would pull more.
I think that's counteractive. Breathing in makes your lungs bigger. Don't you?
I don't think so.
Don't you-
Anyway.
Don't you breathe it out?
I don't know.
Okay, you gotta leave this in. There's no way you get to cut this out. This is too good.
Okay. Anyway, I'll skip to the part. There's stuff in between, but I will skip to the part where when we went back to pick up my dress, it still was too big, and we had a different lady, and she did it again, and then she was like, okay, we'll fix it like right now. We're like, great, because that's really our only option, because it was like a 3-hour drive and we weren't coming back the next day. And so she fixed it. We went to dinner, we came back, and then it fixed perfectly. But anyway, it was a whole
Craziness.
thing. Then the week after that, I flew to Houston for Christmas. And then we drove to Oklahoma on Christmas Day in a very sketchy rental. Would you like to tell them about that? Please tell them the whole rental ordeal
yeah,
of Christmas.
We went to the airport to get the rental in the beginning because it made more sense because I could return it to the airport. Right. Easy return, no extra fee.
We
Great.
had to rent a car because his truck still wasn't done from hitting the deer, by the way.
Right. Yeah, I mean the whole front end was destroyed. And so so we go to the airport one and they're like not giving us the car, yada yada yada, because I tried to prepay the car, and the lady was like, you can't do that, and I was like, I literally booked it online and it prepaid, like I literally paid for the vehicle, and she's like, check, it didn't take the money. I was like, why did it not take my money? I literally clicked prepay. Anyway, so the lady was like, because we don't offer that here, yada, yada, yada. And so I was like, all right, whatever. And so we left. After we waited in the line for like 5 ever, and we were running late now because we were trying to get over to Santa's Wonderland. And yeah, so we were running late and we needed to be there by a certain time. But so then we went over to the other side of Houston and where they have Sense and got the vehicle, no problem.
They have more than 1 cent.
They even discounted that thing.
They had
big.
Sense and Sense.
Oh, they had Sense. Yes, with a T. Yeah. But they discounted the boo-boo out of the vehicle. Like,
As they should have.
I didn't know if y'all know this, but you can call the rental place, and sometimes if you talk to the right people, they just give discounts for no reason. Anyway, so they discounted the heck out of this thing. Get there, everything's great. Get in the vehicle, take off. Like 20
No, we
minutes.
got in the vehicle immediately, and I was like, this vehicle smells like weed.
Oh yeah, it did.
100% smells like weed.
Yeah, it smelled like 20 skunks had died in that car.
Yeah, it was so bad.
It was terrible.
And then we started driving, and then you noticed that the fuel gauge was literally on E.
Yeah, we got like 20 seconds down the road, and I looked down, and it's on E. I was like, oop. And we were in the middle of bumper traffic.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to lose my progress in traffic. Darn.
Yeah. Then when we were driving to Oklahoma on Christmas Day, so that was like the day before Christmas or something. That was like a couple days before. We got the car a little bit early. And we had went to Santa's Wonderland in College Station. But then we were driving to Oklahoma on Christmas Day, and we left at like 4 a.m. to make it there at like a reasonable time to like have Christmas with my family and stuff. And then what was happening to the car? I don't even know what it was doing, but there was a point where you're like, I don't know, this car is going to make it.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I think the transmission was like slipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we did make it. We made it from Houston to Oklahoma in one piece. No more car troubles.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a little worrying considering our track record.
And then you were in Oklahoma from the 25th to the 28th. And then we said goodbye until January 15th, which would happen to be 3 days before our wedding. But before even that, on January 4th, I was getting in the shower to get ready for my bridal shower. That was that day. And my mom had called me and I missed it. And I texted her and I was like, hey, like, I'm in the shower. Because I usually like listen to music or a podcast or something in the shower. And so I would like set my phone up. So if anybody called me, like, I knew. So I usually texted her and was like, hey, I'm in the shower. So I texted her and I was like, hey, I'm in the shower. And she was like, okay, come up here like when you get a chance or whatever. And I was like, I literally have to get ready. What does she mean? So I called her when I got out of the shower and I was like, hey, what's up? And she was like, can I come down there for a minute? And I was like, sure. And she was being kind of weird. And so I just knew that she had something to tell me. So she comes in the doorway and she was like, so something very interesting happened. And she proceeded to tell me that the place that we were having my bridal shower that day had burned down, which also happened to be the place that we were supposed to have our wedding in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks before our wedding, we got news that our venue had burned down. And I mean down to the ground. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
And so I stood there in absolute shock for a few seconds. And then I bawled. And then I finished talking with my mom and then immediately called Trent. And Trent was asleep because at that time he was working nights. And I was like, he was like, in his very sleepy voice, he answered the phone. And I was like, no, I need you to like wake up for a minute. And he was like, okay, I'm awake. What's up? And then I told him. And then he really woke up. He was like, what? So that was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, so prayers for the Trowbridges and for God's blessing and just recovery for them.
Yeah. The people who owned the business literally lived like right next door. And so the fact that their house wasn't touched, that everybody was okay, was straight up God's hand and protection. But yeah, they did lose their business. And so that was huge and awful. So just, they're still navigating. I think that there's literally been people that have still booked weddings with them to use their property. And so that's been really cool. But they're still navigating at what's next and praying and seeking the Lord for what to do next. So just keep them in your prayers as well. But yeah, that was crazy. That definitely took me. So we just kind of like pivoted. And instead of having the bridal shower there, obviously, we just had it at my parents' house.
Yeah.
And it was so great and beautiful. And it was a hard day, though, because I kind of had to, like, put on a face when I knew that, like, all of that was going on behind the scenes. And we would have to navigate that. But Monday, that was on Sunday. Monday, we, like, took the day. And we just kind of shopped places and researched places. And then on Tuesday, we actually secured a new venue. And it was only 30 minutes away from the house and like the original location and everything. And so it worked out perfectly and it could accommodate everyone. And so it was just awesome to see God's hand upon every little detail. But yeah. And then
it was supposed to be like 50 degrees on our wedding day.
Yeah.
It turned out to be like 20.
It was not 20. It was 20 when we woke up. And then it was like, I think it still was 50. It was just windy. It was really windy. And that's what made it so cold.
I don't know. It was cold. I think it was supposed to be warmer than that, though, but then it ended up being.
It was, and then it kept dropping as time went on. That was my bridal shower number 1 was January 4th. And then I flew to Houston for bridal shower number 2 that his mom and some of her friends hosted, which was super nice, and that was really fun. And then on the 15th, you were driving up, and I had realized that we had to get our marriage license in the county that we were getting married in. And when we moved our venue, the county also moved, which means that the location of which we were to get our marriage license also moved. And instead of it being 45 minutes away, it was now like an hour and a half away. And so, but it did happen to be on your way as you were driving up from Texas. Yeah. And so I was going to meet you there on the 15th, and I did. I drove to meet you there, and we got there, and we walk into the courthouse, and we're standing at the counter, and the lady just lets us stand there for like 20 minutes, and then she finally comes to the counter, and she was like, well, what can I help you guys with? And we're like, oh, we're needing a marriage license. And she's like, oh, that's upstairs, and they close at
like 3 or 4 or whatever. No, it was earlier than that.
It was something 45.
Because we were there like 1 o'clock, maybe earlier, right?
I don't know. They were closing at like.
It's like early.
It was not early.
I mean, like early in the day for a work day. Like it was early. It was because they were closing for a funeral.
Yes, but it was like. She said, oh, they're closing at, let's just say, 1:45. And it was 1:44. And she's like, but maybe if you run upstairs, you can catch them. And we did run upstairs, and obviously no one was there. But there was a funeral, and they had closed early. But we did not know that. So we had to go back on Friday. Or we had to go back the next day. Yeah, which was Friday. And we got it for real.
We sound so insensitive to their funeral. But
it wasn't the funeral that we were insensitive to. It was how the lady handled it, and the fact that she left us at the counter for like 20 minutes when she literally saw us.
Yeah, turned and made eye contact, which is crazy.
Was talking to a guy that was standing right next to us.
And then, but you forgot the part where she walked to the counter and goes, oh, I didn't see y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see y'all over here. I'm sorry. What can I help you with?
Yeah.
Yeah, see me.
And then that was Friday. Saturday, we decorated, and we had our rehearsal. Our rehearsal dinner place had completely forgot that we were coming.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. It is what it is. But, yeah, they forgot we were coming. Very professional.
But it was fine. It was good. We made the most of it. And then Sunday we got married. And it was an absolute blur.
Yeah, it went by so fast. It felt like our whole entire wedding day was like 20 minutes long.
Yeah. I've been to weddings, a lot of weddings, of course, and then I've seen so many weddings, and I'm like, I always see like the dance floor packed and like the bride and groom out there dancing with everybody, and I felt like we had like a normal time frame of a wedding, but that's just not at all what happened.
But we also didn't stay like late and have like a party like some people do.
Our wedding was at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and we were leaving no later than 5:30.
Yeah.
So like maybe it was kind of rushed, but like I don't know.
I think that might be why, because I think, normally the reception's longer.
Yeah. Yeah, usually the reception is a long time, I guess. Also, nobody really got on the dance floor, and I was pretty disappointed by that. I had so many good dancing songs on the playlist.
And the dance floor kind of became the photo booth.
That is true. Yeah, we were standing by the table, and then everybody would come up to us and wanted pictures. And then I think that is part of the reason that the dance floor didn't get used, is because it was occupied by people taking pictures, which is fine. But yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. That's our engagement season and our wedding. If you have like any questions that you want us to answer about like anything in particular or specific, feel free to drop them in the comments and we could answer them like more specifically. But that was just like I say quick. We're at 57 minutes. But there's a lot that's getting cut, I think.
I just want to add that the wedding was perfect and it was great. But it was just short-lived, you know?
Yeah.
Wish it was longer.
You know how many dreams I've had about I've actually had a lot of dreams about having another wedding and there being like no photographer, no itinerary, nowhere we had to be, just so that we could like enjoy the people who were there and eat.
I would say, if I was to give somebody advice, yeah, I would tell them to maybe just have a photographer that just stands in the background, takes pictures, and to cut out all of the photos. Like,
just have like the whole wedding be candid pictures. I think that would actually be super cool.
Yeah, and I think I would cut out all of the bride party and groomsmen. Oh my gosh, groomsmen's pictures, like all that stuff. I think could be cut.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many weddings that have happened in history. And I feel like we still have not nailed down the perfect method to a wedding.
Yeah.
How is that possible? How has there been so many weddings? And there's technology and social media now that we can all communicate and share our input. And there still has not been a method that's been nailed down for you to have the day that you want, get the pictures that you want, and still spend time with everybody.
Yeah, well, I think it's, because you have finite time, it's a day. But I'm just curious why it hasn't been recommended just to cut out all the bridal party pictures. All of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think, you're going to have pictures together just as you do the wedding. I think that's good enough.
Yeah.
That was a lot of our time. How long is that? That was like what, an hour at least? 2 hours?
At least, yeah.
Yeah. So I think cut that out. I think just have a photographer take videos and pictures of the wedding and that be the pictures.
I would recommend getting a videographer, like having someone like tape the whole thing, like having one of those like wedding videos, and then having a photographer that just like does candid pictures. Like if you want like a couple, like limit yourself. Okay, 30-minute couple photos, and then that's it, and everything else is just like candid pictures. I think that's the best way to maximize your time.
Yeah, I think that would be better.
That's our advice. Take it or leave it.
I think it's good advice.
I still loved our day, and it was perfect, and it was perfect for us. I think that it really complemented who we are as people and as a couple. And I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. It was perfect. And with all things considered, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have for you guys. We love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I have no idea what the plan is for next week. You may or may not see him. We'll see. And, yeah.
All right. Well, later, guys.
Bye.